going to be rusty time.
Oh.
Hey, welcome back to the Comic Shop Does a Podcast. We've returned from the horrible secrets of space after 10,000 years. I bet you can't even believe it that we're back, that we made it here.
We made it.
And we learned a little bit about the secrets of space.
The horrible secrets of space. It looks like I have something on my lip, but there's really just something on the monitor here.
Yeah, it's just on the monitor.
There it is.
Yeah, we learned a lot about the horrible secrets of space and a little bit about life.
A little bit about love.
That's right.
Let us know if the volume sounds good. It sounds good on my end, but we've had some weird issues, technical issues in the past few weeks that I've had to redo a lot of things. And I think it's working. I hope it's working.
Just hit us like a wrecking ball.
Oh, came in like a wrecking ball.
Oh, it's beautiful. When are you going to sign your record deal?
Banana pepper.
Ooh, I love banana peppers.
I do like banana peppers.
You made the song better.
Thank you. Banana peppers make a lot of things better.
Let me tell you what. I'm very excited to tell you about my old man bread and meat purchases. I went to Walmart.
Let me hear about your old man bread and meat purchases.
Yes, I can't wait to tell you about this. I went to Walmart and found Great Value brand rye bread.
Now, was it a dark rye or a light rye?
I was going to get a marbled rye, but that was a lot more expensive. And I was just like, oh man, I do love a dark rye, but it wasn't even a pure dark rye. I would have gone for it if for the more money if it was all dark rye. But it was just a marbled dark rye, and I thought to myself, let's save $3, get the regular rye, and then also because I'm lazy in this regard, I just got the deli tuna packets from Starkist. So guess what? Almost pre-made deli sandwiches that I've been enjoying every day this week.
I do feel like I'm hearing weird things. What microphone do you have?
And me talking about sandwiches?
Nope.
Is that not weird enough? Check one. Hello.
So let's mute that.
Tuna sandwiches.
Let's mute purple.
Deli tuna sandwiches.
Oh, that sounds better already. Okay, great. I think it was just one of the mics was picking up feedback, and now it's gone.
Deli tuna sandwiches.
Check one.
Check one.
So you do tuna on rye.
Tuna on rye, and I load it up with some banana peppers, maybe some pickles if I'm feeling good. Maybe a little bit of lettuce in there too. Drop in a provolone cheese. Good to go.
That actually sounds good. I don't do a ton of tuna. I like tuna. I just don't know.
It's lean, so I like that part of it.
Yeah.
It's a leftover from my Weight Watchers days.
I just like that it's a dead fish. I'm eating a dead fish.
Oh, I love dead fish.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're delicious.
Yeah, I think so. I'm pro fish. Did you hear about what happened to Red Lobster?
That they raised the price of all-you-can-eat shrimp?
Well, they did that at the end after they lost millions.
Yes.
Because people just came in and basically just, I don't know. What do you call it when you eat a lot of things? Housed. They housed the shrimps.
There were a lot of gluttons.
Yes, the shrimp gluttons.
And how do you house a shrimp? Don't explain that to them.
Yeah, we don't need to do that.
I love shrimp.
I'm not a big shrimp guy.
I like them because they're like sea bugs.
I do appreciate that, but it's the same thing with lobster. Like I appreciate them as a creature more than I think that they are tasty.
Yeah.
Like I'm a fish and chips guy. I like the fish and chips. I think my very favorite seafood thing is the blackened salmon, the New Orleans style salmon. It has the seasoning.
I'm
going
to one up you and say one of the best fish I've ever had was in New Orleans, in Louisiana. Blackened redfish.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
It slightly different flavor profile than a salmon. I feel like a lot of like a farm raised salmon is actually pretty wimpy in terms of flavor. This had like again that bite to it with the blackening seasoning. There's the romantic notion that it's being caught off the 200 miles offshore. Then was brought into the restaurant. Is that true or not? I don't know. I'm just making things up. But years ago, I had a friend take me to everybody else was probably hung over from partying as being a college kid. We went out and had a really good dinner. I got blackened redfish, and it was delicious.
Yeah, my wife made a really good like maple sriracha salmon, I think.
That sounds good.
This was back when this is back in pandemic days when we were doing the HelloFresh. And that was one of the best meals I've ever had, was one of these HelloFresh things.
Yeah.
I wish we could get sponsored by them. Come on, HelloFresh.
It's a lot better than Goodbye Rotten. I've had food from them. Terrible.
Goodbye Rotten?
Yeah, Goodbye Rotten.
Oh, is it? That's not a real thing.
No.
Oh, okay.
I like how you thought it was a real thing, though. I'm not that
Goodbye,
funny.
rotten. I thought it was because there are those things out there like the misshapen fruit. It's like no one's gonna eat this fruit. Give it a good home and for a discount. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, speaking of fruit, my billing today is a fruitcake.
Oh, hey, how about that? And I am known as the figgy pudding.
Figgy pudding.
I'm what everybody comes out caroling for.
Hey,
Just saying.
bring us some figgy pudding.
Yeah, we know he's in there. Bring him out.
We demand. You can't stay in there forever, figgy pudding.
And they're just, instead of pitchforks, they have giant spoons. Bring him out. Bring out that figgy pudding.
And bring it right here. Oh, goodness.
That's a good twist.
It's almost like we haven't podcasted in a while.
I think this is the best podcast I've done in a while.
All right. Let's go to the document here. What are you working on?
I'm just doing some sweet fan art of...
there's some secret
preview,
things.
Preview. Some fan art of this sweet new comic book called Bumpkin Buddies.
Bumpkin Buddies. So this was a comic that I've been working on since about August. It's a comic book that my sister and I wrote together. And then I spent another, whatever it was, 10 to 12 weeks kind of drawing it and coloring it and figuring out how to make a comic that I want to consider myself a comic book expert. But I have never made a comic book before. I think I know how to draw to a certain extent, and I understand how the comic book format works. But even in like the most, and I keep saying this is rudimentary. I mean, there's some cartooning that's in here, and it's not the simplest of things. But even just the most basic, very bare bones approach to making a comic. I don't know if you know this, Aaron, but making a comic takes forever. And it's so much work, and there's so many choices, and there's so many. Oh, you're going to embarrass me now by having that big chunk come out. We have like weird lighting here too.
It's just kind of yellow.
Yeah, that's okay.
For whatever reason.
Nope,
Now it just switched again.
All right.
Hey, it heard you and did it.
Thank you.
Changed it up. But you're drawing here on the more iconic side of the spectrum of Scott McCloud, from like the iconic to the realism. And one can make a very strong argument that's just better cartooning. That's more pure cartooning.
Hey, why do we have this disco ball effect with the lighting here? This is very strange. But, oh well.
Who knows?
Hey, if you want to give it a flip, I spent a lot of time on this.
Looking at it now, though, I think you've made one critical error with the cover. You know what it is?
No.
Creators' names on the cover.
Oh, you know what? Aaron, that actually brings up a very valid point. I've been very upset lately with Marvel. They've been doing a lot of variants.
Yeah.
There's no creators' names on the cover. And in certain situations, they haven't even printed the name on the inside of the cover. Now, I don't know if this was a mistake on a couple issues, because they oftentimes include the name. But, like, it takes me back to the Caetano thing of, like, oh, my gosh, I can't believe somebody made this beautiful cover, and a customer might come up to me and say, hey, I'd like more of this artist. And I have to go, I don't know who drew that. Or I need a few minutes to dig into... Diamond to see who the artist is for that cover, because there's no proper credit to on the like. So I would say that's a very valid point that I probably should put my names on there or names on there.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a bummer, because wasn't Marvel one of the first comic companies to start to give credits to the creators of the book? I mean, there's all the credit, to who made the characters and all that stuff. But in terms of just who did what in the book, they were one of the very first ones to actually start that.
I can't believe you just pointed that out, and I haven't noticed that since I had it printed.
I think we've been looking so much at the technical part of it that we didn't even think about that.
I might reprint this, and there's a couple little coloring mistakes and things like that, and maybe I'll add credits to the cover. Thank you so much. You were a big inspiration and help with this project. I've never, again, even though this is only a 16-page book at the end, don't crease it.
Oh, I'm just
kidding. I'm kidding.
I mean, don't discount that. 16-page, even 2 pages. You know what I mean?
Which
even 1 page.
Technically, it's 12-page story. I did a cover, a back cover, and then the inside.
It still counts.
I always think of that as a 16-page book.
Yeah.
Much like I would say most comics are 32-page comics, even though there's only 20 pages of comic and there's usually 12 pages of ad. Sometimes you get a 22-page book with 10 pages of ad, but that's getting rarer and rarer.
Yeah.
So for me, this is a 16-page booklet that even, the design element of the little inside cover, like, it doesn't take long, but it takes time.
It does take time, yeah. That's one of the things, like, with the stuff that I do. I always consider the drawing, like, the work. But the other stuff is work, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the writing and stuff. Like, our friend Nicholas Gentile, like, I ran into him a few weeks ago. And he's like, you're a writer. And I was like, I wrote that. you know, and it's like, yeah, I did do that. But all, yeah, you're right. All that takes time. You gotta set up everything when you're doing it all yourself.
Yeah. Just real quick, we introduced the characters here. We've got a silly character who's a 120-year-old orphan.
I love these panel borders.
I did it really, really crude because I wanted my nephew Cameron to be like, don't be intimidated by, you know.
I love how that all, like, I know this is a typeface, but that goes together so well.
Yeah. There's Lemon Bee. There's Iggy, who's a dinosaur from the Ignatius period, which I find very funny. And then there's everybody's favorite Brick, who is
look at that guy,
a Lego brick, basically.
He's ready to rock.
And so it's a beautiful day, and Lucky comes along, and clearly Lucky, there's something wrong with him, and he's been whatever. The greedy pharmaceutical conglomerate has been testing new experimental sunscreen on him, which has made him sick. So
and his color is different in every panel.
Yes. Brick offers to scratch him with his big toe to make him feel better, but Lemon Bee kind of says, "Oh, I can make a special honey to cure you." So then they go on a mission to find the special honey, and Brick brings his ham with him because you got to don't forget to pack your hams. So in Dogman, there's a lot of these like sung to the tune of. I've looked at a lot of Dogman recently.
It's not a bad thing to look at. It's very successful.
And this is not a criticism of Dave Pilkey at all, because he's figured out the formula.
Yes.
Like, he knows what he's doing. But really what I think with Dogman is he's found like 10 different bits that work really well and resonate with kids.
Mm-hmm.
And he just duplicates those bits in his books in a slightly different format. And one of the things that he likes to do is he'll have a thing that'll be like sung to the tune of Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll have the characters singing silly lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed that kids will then sing the silly song because they know what Mary Had a Little Lamb sounds like.
Yes.
And then it gets them laughing because there's the toilet humor, the poop lyric that's in there or something like that that makes them laugh and be silly. And that's one of Dave Pilkey's gimmicks. Now, obviously, there's no poop lyric in here.
Not yet.
But trying to come up with something where
a
kid might want to sing along with the characters. So they're on this thing, they're marching. There's a big wall. They don't know how to get around it, or big mountain rather. And this is where Brick comes into play and demonstrates his superpower. Is if he thinks real hard, he can turn into multiple copies of himself. So he builds himself into a little Lego staircase.
That's almost a Devo hat.
Dude, it is, right? So they get on top of the mountain, and then it's Old Man Ricketts Mountain, and Old Man Ricketts kind of pops out from behind.
Don't sleep on Old Man Ricketts.
Pops out from behind his sign. He is my favorite character design, and I love that his wife then pops out from behind him. So it's like they're all just hiding behind this sign randomly. They're telling him to get off their land, and Lucky kind of says, "I've been exploited by the evil, greedy co," and basically bores everybody into a hypnotic state so they can go on to the next part of their mission. They're looking for a gloopy flower, of course. And this gloopy flower, I don't know why it grows underground, because that makes a lot of sense. You're going to climb to the top of a mountain only to dig through the mountain to find a flower. Don't think too hard about it.
Yeah.
But
it's quite the journey.
Yeah. So anyway, Iggy can eat through all of these rocks and everything, and they get to the bottom and they find the flower. And they kind of feel bad for stealing the flower and hypnotizing Old Man Ricketts. So luckily, Brick has brought his ham with him, and Old Man Ricketts loves ham.
Look at this panel.
He loves ham. It's
like a tear in his eye.
He's almost in love with ham. But anyway, they trade him the ham for the gloopy flower, and everybody's kind of happy.
Always pack me hams.
So then back at home, Lucky takes the gloopy flower. Makes the honey. Don't peek. It's private. Who knows what Lucky Bee or Lemon Bee is doing in there? Comes out with the honey. Lucky takes it. He goes back to normal. And then everybody's kind of happy, and it's a great job. And Iggy returns to his normal size, which this is the poop joke, that Iggy can eat all of this rock, but he doesn't. He returns to normal size when he poops.
What a great panel here! I feel much better now, and he's the same color as
the big stinky poop in the background.
Yes.
So then we've got a back of the book games and goofs. Lucky wants to know how to spell 10 different words using the letters TOENALILS, which also spell toenails. And Brick kind of says, keep your toenails long for scratching.
Ugh.
And then we've got a little page you can do your own comic strip on this
These are
page.
fun shapes here.
Yeah, I was done with drawing, and I just wanted one more thing to fill up a page. So this took all of 20 minutes, and it's just get it done.
Yeah, it's got a very like 1990s like kids magazine
Yes,
feel to it.
yeah. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. And then my little back page.
Oh,
I just wanted to do something that was totally unrelated, and like, what's another character that they could run into? So like a big muck mountain monster.
Ooh, the Muck Mountain Monster.
Maybe that's the name. Even I didn't even think of that.
That is great.
But yeah.
Every from time to time I just think about strange things like I want to make my Swamp Thing knockoff character.
Yeah.
What would that be called? And everything I've come up with so far is taken by somebody else.
Yeah.
But Mountain Muck Monster, that's pretty good.
You should call it Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing?
Swamp Thing.
I mean, it could. That would definitely be parody. Yeah, but that's a nice little book.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it took a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, and I appreciate the little fan art you did right there.
Oh yeah, little Lucky
Yeah, appreciate that.
saying it's a podcast.
It's a me.
But the characters are very drawable, though. I mean, I think there's something to keeping things really simple. That's something I'm playing around with. I'm going to do something like that, I think, with Wesley or maybe another project to just have some simpler character designs and kind of play with that comic strip type style.
Are you still going to do a board book?
I really want to do a board book.
I think that's a cool idea.
The only thing about a board book is I would definitely have to do a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Because even a small board book is very expensive.
Is it?
So you'd have to like sell 2,000 of them, or get 2,000 of them made in order to get them at the right price point.
Yeesh, that's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe there's a way to do it, or maybe I just do a couple, just for Lucy, and then have a couple.
Well, I like that idea too, because I did this for my nephew Cameron, who will be 7, but I do have a 1.5-year-old niece, and I go, ooh, maybe that would be the project, is make a board book for her.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
And the thing about that is they are shorter.
Mm-hmm.
So like, but they tend to be more illustrative. Like, but they don't have to be. So, but it's just a shorter book. So it might be a quicker thing to complete. But yeah, it's something I'm thinking about. I've got a couple different ideas, but I'm not sure how big they would be. I'll get a little spammy here.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so kind to bring this over when
Guy
this
brought
came
in a
through the shop.
collection. I don't know, whatever, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, maybe. And he just wanted me to appraise certain things.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was the collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And I was like, this book really isn't worth much. I think it's like a $3 book, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Or $2 or $3 book. And I said to the gentleman, I was like, I understand you're not here to sell your collection, but I'd really like a copy of this book. My friend just did like a comic in which he homaged the cover.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you had it or not, but I'm like, I can't let this walk out of here. So I gave him $5 for it.
Well, thank you for that.
Just because I was like, if Aaron doesn't have this book, I'd feel not awful letting it walk through the shop, but it's like, you just did this beautiful cover, reproduction of this.
Yeah.
We got to get this to Aaron Z. Lee.
Yeah, and there it is. There's the inspiration, and then and I would be remiss if I didn't mention the original artist here, Luke McDonnell. I think he's the guy who did the Demon in a Bottle illustration too for that famous Iron Man story. I think.
What issue?
191.
So I thought this was 130s the other day. 191. The Demon in a Bottle one, I think, is from the 180s. So this would be within a calendar year. So that would make sense. It does look like his art too, but I don't know.
Yeah, and there was not too long away from this. I'm not sure if it was earlier or after, but Iron Man faces off against Machine Man.
Who's Machine Man?
The only superhero named Aaron, to my knowledge. Which, he's also a robot too, which is pretty cool. I mean, obviously, there's some similarities between Wesley and Machine Man. Like Wesley is kind of the manifestation of a whole bunch of different of my interests into one thing. But yeah, Wesley the robot, this giant chunk of a book.
Hold on, before we go there.
Yeah.
I just to follow up on Machine Man, because I thought this was interesting.
Yeah.
Luke, the librarian director, came in today.
Yes.
And he bought a Luke Cage off of the wall.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I go, oh, that book looked good, actually. I was thinking of pulling it. And I go, tell me how it is, which I'll tell customers sometimes when they read something. Tell me how it is. I'm just curious. And he went into, when I was a kid, Luke Cage was the only superhero character who I know had the same name as me. So I've always loved Luke Cage. So I think that's funny. Like the Machine Man thing, like it's the exact same. Like it was the only superhero Aaron that I knew. So like that's just my dude. And that was what Luke said. It was like, well, Luke Cage. I didn't know any other superhero characters named Luke. He was just a big tough guy. It's like, well, that's my dude. So anyway, sidebar.
He's always been pretty cool, Luke Cage. And the various ways that they've used him over the years. Even that series in the '90s wasn't like. I think if I saw like in the dollar bin some of those old Luke Cages from the '90s, they would still probably be pretty good.
I'm gonna fix my mic stand here because it's about to fall off.
I'll just vamp a little bit. But then, like the more I found out about Machine Man, like created in the pages of Jack Kirby's 2001: A Space Odyssey, like what a pedigree to for this character to come out of, and it still pops up here and there. I don't know when the last time he popped up was, but they've done some interesting things. The Next Wave thing I had mixed feelings about, but now I enjoy.
Yeah.
But I do like a classic Machine Man. Like Machine Man, also the only Marvel character to be worked on back-to-back. Jack Kirby drew the first run of his monthly series, and then Steve Ditko picked up and finished the monthly series back-to-back. So
you want to go to Wesley?
Yeah, we can go to some Wesley. Yeah, so...
We had fun tabling with this book for the past... I don't know if we've really talked about it.
No, I don't think so, because we'd spent a little bit.
Yeah, we haven't podcasted in a couple weeks.
But, we were out at GennyCon. Well, did we talk about the Rochester Small Press Book Fair?
I think we did.
On the podcast?
I'm sure we did.
Yeah, I'm sure we did.
Let's talk GennyCon.
Yeah, we can talk GennyCon. So that GennyCon is a small convention. I mean, really, it's just kind of a one-room expo in the student center at the University of Rochester.
It was great, though. Like the little atrium and things that were
beautiful.
It was very nice. It was a nice space.
I don't know if I've tabled in a better-looking space than that, honestly.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
it was. Yeah,
it's a good, very high, tall windows, and their student union is great. Invited there. If you're a creator, they let you table there for free, which is wonderful. So just a word out there if anybody's a creator out there and wants to do that another time. And it was on a Saturday too. I know that in the past they've done things in the middle of the week,
a Wednesday or something.
Yeah,
right? That's weird.
Which is just very difficult for adult grown people with jobs to do. So I'm glad that they moved it to a Saturday. The organizers were very very helpful, very friendly.
Yeah, the young lady who was running it,
very good.
She was great. She was fantastic.
Yeah,
good communication.
Oh yes. A little hard to find where you're going once you hit the campus, but that's really no fault of theirs.
It's not her. Yeah, it's not their fault that it's difficult to navigate that campus. It's just they were doing the best they could.
Yeah, they're doing the best they can. We were there selling some Wesley the Robots, some of these collected editions, some Creep of the Crops.
Crop of Creeps.
I don't know.
Did I sell any? Crop Show?
I think I might have sold like one Priest's Pizza.
No, you did well with everything.
Yeah, sold a good spread.
I think it was definitely more than one Priest's Pizza. I almost say 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 2 Pizzas, 3 Creeps, and a bunch of Wesleys.
Yeah. But it was nice to get this in the hands of some folks out there. And it did well, even at a college campus.
We were saying the kids had no money, but they wanted to spend money on comics. So, hey, give it another flip real quick. I know we've looked through this several times, but
yeah, so
it's still pretty.
Here's the nine individual covers. So you see the value that you're getting in there. And we've got the black and white edition, kind of zoomed in a little bit.
Which, don't get me wrong, I love the color, but the black and white is just as strong.
Yeah. And then because I couldn't really do end pages because I wanted to use the color of this page, got a fake end pages here of Wesley and the cast, Wesley and the Cisco and Stack Experience, featuring Beatrice. Nice little logo here. Little dedication to my wife Teresa, my daughter Lucy, and my dog Tootsie.
Tutor.
I thought that was a nice little thing there. And some design table of contents. Like there's a good bunch of stuff in here. We got 9 chapters of the story. We've got, I don't even know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Was it 18?
You can count that high?
18 articles.
Man.
Yeah. And then we've got galleries in here, some bonus artwork. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bonus images in there. That's a lot. One
of them even might be by me, but don't let that stop you from buying or stop you from looking.
Yes. And all the lettering in this, redid this. This is what my month of July was. over the summer. It's just relettering everything.
The summer of lettering.
Just improving the lettering so that it was more readable. And I think it was worth it. I think it was
definitely worth it. I'm glad you did that. There are some things I questioned why you went back and reworked, but that I think the lettering was a very good move. And to be honest, yeah, everything you went back and reworked, yes, it looks better.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted more.
Look at those hands right there. Whose hands do you think those are?
It's hard to say.
Could be anybody's.
Impossible to say. But the coffee cube, which will come into effect here. Yeah, we've got all these fake ads in there that I plugged in just because other people have done that. So like little advertisement for a fake concert, or not a fake concert, but yeah, I guess it's a fake concert. But yeah, so much stuff in here. All this black and white artwork, mixture of digital and traditional. We got fake DVD because there's a big fight in a video store later on in the story. Yeah.
Oh, Peak Fizz.
Peak Fizz. Rise to the top with Peak Fizz. It's a pretty good fake soda, right? It was the best out of the ones that I came up with. Let's see. Got Barnaby Death Castle. Throwing down.
Big chonker here. There's a lot of stuff.
And this room here looks an awful lot like the room we're in right now.
Yeah. I see some similarities.
Yeah. And then we go to boom. This produced very well in black and white.
The halftones are great up top.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like this is an homage to a very early Frank Miller cover of Machine Man. This is the final issue of Machine Man, and Frank Miller did the cover of that. And this is kind of how I'm going to approach my future stuff, where I have like a big title page. It won't actually be a cover, but I'm going to do a black and white cover essentially, and then you flip, and you're going to be into the story. And so that's how I'm going to get around that. I really like the black and white format. I've been really getting into black and white books, specifically like the old Warren magazine collections that I think Dark Horse is putting out.
Yeah.
Creepy and eerie. There's just
eerie. That's what it was. We were trying to think of it earlier.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about the EC comics, because there's an EC book in your box. And I'm like, boy, I know that Aaron's obsessing over the other book, but I couldn't remember what it was. Eerie.
Yeah. The creepy and eerie. That stuff, the Warren magazines that were always meant to be. Oh, here's the most important page right here.
Look at that.
Special thanks to Martin Kinney, Evan Ford, Justin Hannigan, Mike Pastel, Mike Beechers. Mike Beechers, who let me use his song and his likeness as the bearded border in space, who even sings a little song. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, this spread came out nice.
That's a nice spread.
Yeah, really proud of this thing, and I even have some end pages back here, some fake end pages, and then this is where I do my little sketch if somebody buys it.
Yeah, people like that too.
Yeah, and I put a little dedication there, and then this is a good gimmick too. This book made in part with the support of, and then I write their name here.
I like that. I think that's a very good gimmick you have when you're signing.
Yeah,
people like the personalization.
And then like the cast of characters taking a final bow. Yeah. Before boom, you're back.
Hey, we did it.
Yeah. So really proud of that. Can't wait to roll it out in kind of a bigger way. It's nice that it's been like tested now, you know, in the field, and
you sold a lot of them. You really have.
Yeah, it's encouraging. I mean, it's 5 years of work in that beast, but I'm always excited to work on the next thing. And I already bought some paper. I'd like to do some zine stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if that's going to be like a Wesley thing. I don't know. I've been working on some holiday special Wesley stuff as a stopgap in between like jumping back into a big story. But they're all going to be in 6 to 8 to 10 page chunks going forward.
I started working on a more serious type or not serious. I mean, it's still a comic. Well, comics can be serious,
comics
but
are serious,
a superhero type thing that I'm not even scripting. I'm not even length. I'm just literally just like, I'm just gonna lay out a page and then just figure out what goes on there. And
sometimes it's a good way to work.
I don't know how long I'm going to do that, but I'm kind of halfway through a second page now, and I want to try to do like a
superhero story.
Yeah, I'm thinking like if I can do a 12-page black and white. I wanted to do color, but I'm kind of liking the halftones and things like that.
Black and white is fun, and the thing about it too is it really does cut down on the cost. Like color, like depending on how big your book is.
Does it? I felt like we priced out color books for me for my thing in black and white, and the pricing wasn't that different. I could be wrong.
Well, if on a shorter book like yours, I think it's less of a cost. Mm-hmm. But as the books get longer, the more color pages really start to add up and start to multiply. Like if you ever play with a quote calculator, you'll see that color adds a really big chunk.
Yeah.
to it. And I don't dislike color, but I always find that the stuff that's really striking to me is always very limited color schemes. Like if it's just like black, I don't dislike color, but I always find that the stuff that's really striking to me is always very limited color schemes. That's just the first thing I think off the top of my head. Like if it's just like black, I don't dislike color, but I always find that the stuff that's really striking to me is always very limited color schemes.
I love his.
That's just the first thing I think off the top of my head. Like if it's just like I don't dislike color, but I always find that the stuff that's really striking to me is always very limited color.
I love his use of color. I've seen a lot of.
Like if it's just like I don't dislike color, but I always find that the stuff that's really striking to me is always very limited color.
I love his use of color. I've seen a lot of. Now it's
I don't dislike, but I always find that the stuff that's really striking to me is very limited.
I love his use of color.
Now it's I don't dislike, but I always find that the stuff that's really striking to me is very limited.
I love his use of color.
Now I don't dislike, but I always find that the stuff that's really striking to me is very limited.
I love his use of color.
Now I don't dislike, but I always find that the stuff that's really striking to me is very limited.
I love his use of color.
Now I don't dislike, but I always find that the stuff that's really striking to me is very limited. I love his use of color. Now I don't dislike, but I always find that the stuff that's really striking to me is very limited. I love his use of color. All the always find that the stuff really striking to me is very limited. I love his use of color. All the always find that the stuff really striking to me is very limited. I love his use of color. All the always find that the stuff really striking to me is very limited. I love his use of color. All the always find that the stuff really striking to me is very limited. I love his use of color. All the always find that the stuff really striking to me is very limited. I love his use of color. All the always find that the stuff really striking to me is very limited. I love his use of color. All the always find that the stuff really striking to me is very limited. I love his use of color. All the always find that the stuff really striking to me is very limited. I love his use of color. All the always find that the stuff really striking to me is very limited. I love his use of color. All the always find that the stuff really striking to me is very limited. I love his use of color. All the always find that the stuff really striking to me is very limited. I love his use of color. All the always find that the stuff really striking to me is very limited. I love his use of color. All the always find that the stuff really striking to me is very limited. I love his use of color. All the alwa And the holiday season is upon us here. Dark Horse Holiday Horror Mike Mignola should bring it up. Foregathered on Christmas Eve.
Ooh. Holiday horror anthology coming from Mike Mignola and Eric Powell. This December, Dark Horse presents Foregathered on Christmas Eve, 4 stories from 4 renowned comics creators, Eric Powell of The Goon, Mike Mignola, Hellboy, Becky Cloonan.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Becky Cloonan book was good, too, but I
Yeah.
don't think we can show that. I think it's too adult.
Yeah.
The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, and then James Herron, BRPG,
Wow.
and Ultra Mega.
Yeah.
Woo, that's a lineup.
Yeah.
Herron will be illustrating Powell's story, with the rest of the writers also illustrating their own stories. Eric Powell and Dave Stewart will be coloring the anthology with letters by Richard Starking's Murderer's Row.
Yeah.
That's a book. 4 beloved comic storytellers come together to continue the Victorian tradition of sharing ghost stories on Christmas Eve. They will spin tales of the bizarre and terrifying to keep readers company on the cold Yule night. The Yule, the cold and emptiness of
night.
the Yule.
The Yule Night.
This unique approach to ghost story format, where the creators themselves become a part of the story, is printed in a deluxe hardcover designed by the
It's
award-winning
a big old book then.
Phil
Balsman?
Balsman.
Okay.
Look at that cover,
yeah,
too.
that's a beautiful cover.
Who did the cover?
It's got to be Eric Powell, right? It looks like Eric Powell.
It looks like Powell, but it looks, I don't know. As someone who've always unapologetically loved Christmas and spooky stories, I've been intrigued. Telling stories used to be part of the tradition of Christmas, I guess.
Yes.
I've been kicking around the idea of doing Victorian Christmas ghost book for a while. I was thrilled when 3 of my favorite creators agreed to join me in shops. December 12th, December 13th. I'll have to make sure we ordered that.
Yeah, I'll pick that up.
Yeah, that's dope, dude.
Yeah. The Christmas used to have scary stories. The only scary story that's really survived is Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
But there was a series of like these little pocket books. We bought a bunch of them. They're in our corner little drawer by the side of our couch. Seth, the Canadian cartoonist, designed the look of the books.
Mm-hmm.
So like they're really cool looking books. I have not read them. I really need to read them. I got to make more time to read. That's going to be my resolution even before New Year's. But I have been reading some other stuff. I got a collection of the earliest Warren magazine Vampirella stories.
Oh, you've been telling me about this. Who's drawing those?
Oh, well, it starts off with Tom Sutton, who's very good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He's a really good artist. But when Jose Gonzalez
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
gets on that thing, holy moly! Like I don't know. He might be in the running for my favorite artist. Period.
Really?
Just because the figure drawing is so good, but also cartoony. And the design choices, and in the background there's all these like ink washes and like watercolor effects. Like it just ticks off all the little stylistic things that I like to see.
What years is this?
69 to
Okay. Yeah, early 70s.
Early 70s.
Yeah.
But wow. I mean, and there's books and books about his artwork. And I mean, his paintings and stuff are a little bit different, but like his cartooning work, very strong.
Yeah.
It's like he could easily do like a comedy thing and have been like a Mad Magazine guy. And it's not even necessarily that like Vampirella is like, you know, a provocative character.
Mhm.
Like yes, and the figure drawing on her is very good, but there's way more happening in it than that. You know what I mean? I'm just really impressed with that stuff. Oh yeah, you're gonna bring it.
Yeah, well, you brought up Mad Magazine.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the name of. So it's the LaGuardia High School of Arts and Music. Although when my grandfather went there, it was not called that. Actually, I've also found out that it was the high school that was. I don't remember Fame, the TV show. That's before my time.
Yes.
But there was a TV show called Fame, and actually, this high school was the high school was what they modeled the show after.
Okay.
Because so many creative art and music people came through there. So anyway, Thanksgiving, I went to visit my grandmother, and she's 1,000 years old, and my grandfather had passed a few years ago. And my grandfather was a very creative writer and also a very good artist and also a comic artist that I guess I didn't appreciate in my life because he didn't really bring this up very much. But he had a friend, Alphonse, who was his best friend, I guess, who had done cartooning for New Yorker, Mad Magazine, Playboy, things like that. Done a lot of, I guess he very influential in terms of advertising, but also comics and cartoons. And so when John Romita Sr. passed away a few months ago, I happened to see that they listed the high school that he went to, and I go, boy, I really feel like Granddad went to that high school. And so I started to dig into the high school, and like a million heavy-hitting artists, Sal Buscema, John Romita Sr., not even Al Jaffe and the entire Mad Magazine crew graduated from that high school. And it was all within like a couple years of my grandfather going to that school. And so I was just fascinated by this prospect, and I didn't get to see, it's very difficult to talk to Grandma over the phone. So finally seeing her in person for Thanksgiving, I was able to ask questions about, you know, Granddad and where he went to high school. And I know that Grandma wouldn't remember people that Granddad went to high school with. But I was so fascinated by the thought of him sitting in art classes with people who would have, you know, be wildly instrumental in the craft of American comic books and cartooning and things like that.
Yeah.
To which I have some of my granddad's old cartoons that he did when he was like 16, and they're very much a product of their time. They're probably, some of it would be inappropriate nowadays in terms of stereotyping and things like that, like how the relationship we had with Japan World War II wise. So like there was like an antagonistic Japanese character in one of the strips. But the cartooning is just great.
Yeah.
And he's a kid. He's 16. But to have your contemporaries and peers like Alphonse, who went on to do Mad Magazine stuff and cartoons and Playboy and things like that, like wow, that's just so wildly interesting to me. And the interesting thing about
Magazine when it's like Mad Magazine when it's a huge deal.
Yeah, like again, Al Jaffe, I think graduated like 4 or 5 years ahead of him, and then there's like a whole bunch of other Mad Magazine people too that like left that high school and immediately went to work for these magazine companies, because I think there was a big increase in production in terms of printing and newspapers, and like we need cartoonists, we need people to make content, we need people to understand how graphic design works. But my grandfather was potentially right there in the thick of it all, and it's just like, oh man, to go back in time and have that conversation would have been so cool. But alas,
it was not meant to be.
Who's that character?
This is Sinterklaas.
Mm.
It's got lots of round edges on there.
Round edges.
Yeah, very very rounded fellow. Very well rounded. Yeah, I don't know. I like this tradition of doing a bunch of little drawings.
It was what we did actually when we went to that GennyCon.
Yeah,
is that we were it was a little slow. So there's a cafeteria beneath the atrium that we were in.
Yes,
but students didn't necessarily know that we were upstairs tabling at a convention.
I mean, somebody had done a giant chalk mural, but it was in the cafe. It was kind of off to the side, so like not. I mean, somebody tried. Somebody worked really hard on that, but
But our solution,
highly
to try to drive traffic was, let's take a bunch of 3x5 cards and let's just draw silly cartoons on them that say that there's a comic convention upstairs. And Aaron and I would draw, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 cards, and I would walk downstairs and pass them out at tables and say, hey, there's a comic convention upstairs. We'd like for you to join us. Were the cards a hit or not? I don't know.
They were
but
fun.
they were fun. It was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun, silly concepts that we were coming up with.
I really liked. I did one of like I just did all these shocked faces, and they kept saying, "I can't unsee what I saw at Jenny Con."
Jenny Con. The terrible tables of Jenny Con.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that was bad. I mean, it was a small show, but they also didn't charge us anything to table too. So
Yeah.
that was pretty nice of them because they could have charged.
I want a card. Can I get a card?
Yeah. You want a card? You get a card.
I need a marker too, I guess.
Well, you're in luck because they have this wonderful
Ooh, boy.
$5 manga drawing set that I got from Five Below.
Wow.
$5. I'm gonna go back to Five Below and get some more of these because why not? And I'm a teacher too, so I'll let my kids use them.
Hey, enough yapping and give me a marker, huh?
Here you go.
All right.
Grab one.
Oh boy. What else is going on?
What else is going on? We just had National Arts and Education Week,
Mm-hmm.
so you hear fine folks at the comic shop let me display some student artwork.
Oh, they can't even see it on the green. I guess I got to pick a different color.
I gotta pick a darker one. So you find folks at the comic shop let me display some student work.
Yeah, we had some nice avocados in the window. Some of your students drew some nice avocados.
Avocados very popular. I don't know why. Even before I had it in my reference bank from them to work from, kids drew avocados, and then eventually there were just so many avocados that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make that an official choice. And every year we get quite a few of them, and it's a pretty simple shape. They have success with it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like a rounded oblong pear shape with a sphere built in. So they're learning a little bit of geometric shapes and stuff there too. So yeah, they're doing pretty good with that. What else is going on? I finished up. Well, I'm having students finish up their Georgia O'Keeffe inspired animal skulls and 5 flowers.
Any inappropriate looking things coming out of a Georgia O'Keeffe? I know that sometimes students will point out the subtle anatomical references maybe of some of her more floral arrangements.
Well, according to her official statements, they were never meant to.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I always just thought that was kind of a take on womanhood and things like that. Or
yeah, because as soon as they were recognized as that, she started doing super literal stuff.
yeah.
Because she was like, yeah, that's not really what I'm doing. I'm doing kind of abstracting that kind of stuff.
Here's a
Thank you. Excuse me.
Don't sneeze.
Yeah, I didn't.
Nope.
Oh,
Just
look
dropped
at
it, just
that.
dropped it.
Meow.
All right, we need more.
More cards.
Yeah.
We're gonna let's put those in the
Yeah.
central location.
I want something that's not green. I don't like yellow though. Yellow is a stress-inducing color.
Is it?
That's what I always heard. I'll do a pink one.
Yeah, that's a good one to go with.
Yeah. You had a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah. My in-laws came over to our house, which is nice. So we didn't have to pack up and go someplace with a 1-year-old, well, almost 2-year-old. So that's always nice when you don't have to pack up all the stuff you need for a small child and somebody just comes to your house. I like that. That's good. And it was just my in-laws this year too, so it wasn't like we had to host a ton of people. So that was also very convenient. Got some good turkey stuff.
What's the best part of a Thanksgiving dinner? There's a right answer to this too, by the way.
I think the part that's best for me, I think, is the turkey because it's nice and lean. But I like stuffing.
It's stuffing.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Yeah.
It's like the one food item that you really only have once a year.
Yeah.
That's specific. Like, 'cause you'll have turkey. Like, maybe you won't have a carved turkey, but you're
Yeah.
going to eat turkey.
Pretty regularly, yeah. I mean, it's a lean meat. So it's something I keep in regular rotation.
If anybody in the chat has requests for what Aaron and I are drawing too, we'll take requests.
Yeah. Oh, I got. I shared this with you the other day. I commissioned one of my favorite artists, Alexis Zaret, to do some artwork for me. He has on his website, you can get commissions for $90, and I got a couple of them a while ago, and understandably so. The guy is super busy. Like he's doing designs for Metallica and designs like all kinds of wild stuff.
He did the what's the water one?
Oh, Liquid Death.
Liquid Death.
Yeah, he did the back cover of the Severed Lime,
which is a great drink, by the way.
Yeah, I'm really into the Liquid Death and the seltzers now. But I commissioned him to draw my character Barnaby Deathcastle and Wesley the Robot. And got those the other day. I think I'm gonna hold on to those until I publish another book, to kind of like juice that next book.
Mm-hmm.
Have it be like a back cover or something.
And who knows if he gets even bigger, bang.
Just hold on to that in my back pocket there.
T-Dog 62008, you should do the Punisher. All right, let's do a Punisher. You do a Punisher too, because I don't.
All right.
What's my Punisher?
I'm doing kind of a Ghost Rider right here. I'll just give him some spikes and call it a day. That made me think of the Barnaby Deathcastle design, because it's the Barnaby Deathcastle with the skull mask with the parapets coming off of the front. The parapets being like the little towers. I actually really like that design that I put together, because it seems so dumb, but it also is great. I basically wanted to make like a Wolverine skull mask with little towers. Everything is just a deconstructed Wolverine. Yeah, let's do yellow. I don't have any yellow on here. Oh, that's a really vibrant yellow. Holy moly.
Yeah, that's why I had to put the yellow down too. It was just too much. It was too intense.
Very vibrant.
My Punisher's kind of a beefcake.
That's all right. It's allowed.
New Punisher book did just come out last week.
Oh yeah, with the new character.
Yeah.
Did anybody get a chance to read it?
I did not. There's a ton of people that love Punisher.
Yeah.
I know they're trying different things with them. I hope it works. I hope they can. The idea is too that it's not Frank Castle. We've moved on from Frank Castle. Now it's a different. There's no reason why other people can't be the Punisher.
That's true. I mean, in the 90s, they even had a whole bunch of different characters be the Punisher. What did they think? The Punisher was dead?
Yeah.
And there was all those different variations on the Punisher designs. I actually liked some of those designs. I think there was somebody who had like just a skull for a mask. I thought that was pretty good. And then there was like Lady Punisher and stuff.
Yep. We'll give him a grenade just because he needs a grenade.
I'm going to get fancy and switch up a color.
He's got the world's tiniest gun, by the way. I kind of ran out of room to have a gun. And we're taking requests here for the last few minutes. Any requests for sketch cards? Get them in now. We're doing bad Punishers right now. Thanks to T-Dog 62008. Thanks, T-Dog.
Thank you, T-Dog. I feel like the butta is very important. He's got to have a wide power stance.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Can't really see the logo, though. It's probably my one mistake.
He kind of needs a nose, right?
Is there a nose on the Punisher thing?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe I'll do another Punisher. Hey, vamp for time while I grab a tissue.
Yeah. The Comic Shop, 112 East Bridge Street. The Comic Shop. bringing you the best in comics and shops and Funkos and action figures and toys and games and so much more. Do you like Martin? Do you like Michael? Do you like me? You don't answer that question. The Comic Shop, 112 East Bridge Street. The Comic Shop. We're drawing some fun things here today. We've got the number one goof. We've got a Punisher, a couple Punishers. We've got some kind of Catman here, a Santa figure, some fan art for my comic book that I just put out, Bumpkin Buddies. Look at that. Lucky. And then Aaron did a little bit of a fan art. We've got kind of a Frankenstein man and a skull. We got all sorts of cool things here.
Yeah, look at that. We filled the spread there. Should I do a second Frank?
T-Dog says the Punishers are super cool. Jay Weldon, where the comics are still fun. Are they still fun?
I think comics will always be fun. It just, there's different comics out there. Some can be fun. Some are designed not to be fun.
What?
And there's a place for that too.
No, there's not. Everything should be fun.
Well, certainly I like the comics that are entertaining. I mean, I'm talking about like those Warren magazines. Those are super fun for me to read because they're nice and short, little chunks, little 10-pagers. Mm-hmm. And man, the art is off the chain. I don't know if that makes a really good comic or not per se, because I think kind of the more iconographic approach I think that is truly more pure cartooning. Mm-hmm. But man, I like that stunning artwork that people are pumping out. It's like they did these black and white collections of a lot of the EC artists. Like there's one of Graham Ingalls who did like the old witch stories, and man, he's since passed away, but man, what an illustrator.
So he hasn't been putting out much stuff lately?
No. Well, actually he's been putting out more stuff than a lot of other people who are deceased. But it's, reprints of, his finite collection of work. Do we get another request, or are we just...
We got the Punishers are super cool, and then Jay Weldon says, where the comics are still fun.
So I should just do another Punisher?
Do another Punisher.
All right.
I'm going to draw a little dragon, and I think that I'm done for the night.
It's probably good. We vamp for time here.
The clock on this is slow, too.
Is it slow? Holy moly, yeah, we're very near being finito here.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. We appreciate it. The Comic Shop, 112 East Bridge Street.
The Comic Shop.
The Comic Shop.
I'm going like really gestural with this next Punisher.
Oh, I think I'm good. I think my dragon is kind of done here. What happened to Martin?
What do you mean?
Where is he?
Oh, like not in the chat?
Where's Michael?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're just not here, I guess. Too busy to show up for the old podcast. Too cool for the podcast, huh?
All right, here's my dragon that I did. I'm going to cover up my my number one goof.
Number one goof.
The number one goofer. What? Oh, what's yours? Put it on camera so we can see you draw.
All right.
Oh, yes, the gigantic cannons. That's what I need, is the cable. I don't even know how I would do like a big bazooka.
Well, it was what was missing from the... I didn't have the logo in the other one. I was like, you know what? Let's make up for everything that the other one was missing. One of these days, I'm going to do a super fast comic. Maybe it'll even be on all like index cards, like all the panels. I keep threatening to do that. It'd be called No Reference, No Problem.
That's what I do. No reference, baby. Just draw.
It's not a bad way to go. Certainly, there's a lot of good stuff with that. Certainly, if I did that, I could get stuff done quicker. And I do have a couple like short stories that are very comical. I don't know the right place to release them, but like my Times Square comic I sent to you.
Yes, where you had to poop.
Yes.
No spoilers.
And there's no pooping in Central Square, or not Central Square.
Times Square.
Times Square. There we go. I guess you can poop in Central Square. I guess that's legal.
We'll give him another grenade.
Yeah, why wouldn't he have another grenade?
Punish time.
And I have a cartoon about an interaction I had with Jackie Davis's husband, Mr. Jackie Davis, that I have in my sketch wallet that my wife got me for Christmas last year. I've got to finalize that into something because I think that
Here's
is
my
a good
Punisher.
little
You can't
piece.
see him at all because it's just a big gun.
Ooh, punish time.
Punish time. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I think we did a lot. We changed lives tonight.
Yeah, we should get index cards are easier. But
I dropped my pen
just
cap,
get
don't
sheets
we?
and sheets printed up of like the Marvel Universe card, like number 2 with just blank.
Dude, we talk about this all the time. I still want to do some magic proxies. Not something like this, but like there's a construct is one of the proxy cards, and it's a robot. It's like, would you do you use regular Wesley or just do like some kind of fantasy Wesley, and then we'll just get cards printed up and print, hand those out as.
I feel like if I'm gonna get Wesley on a magic card, I feel like I have to go like of what I think of a magic card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like paint, like fully painted, like with some fantasy element to it.
Well, also think that Alexis Zaret has done magic cards, so
Oh, that's
they've
true.
they've. I guess what I would do something. Yes, I did a playmat for our Commander League thing a few weeks ago, and that was I went back to like the early 1993, what I feel like a magic card would look like,
Yeah.
but I made it a little cartoony.
Yeah,
And that's what I would do is if we ever did proxies for that, like
that would be fun. I'd like to do that.
yeah, maybe we'll do it.
And then we're threatening to do this on a future.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, we're gonna do this in a future podcast. I think we're gonna do the Batman gingerbread house.
And it's the real Batmobile.
It's not even gingerbread though. It just says
It's not?
cookie.
Wayne Manor cookie kit.
What kind of crap is that? That's not even gingerbread.
Well, I mean, it'll still work. It's more of a sculptural thing. But man, okay, so gingerbread. I'll end with this. So I love Aldi. Go to Aldi all the time. They have, I think, my favorite cookie is those gingerbread, the packs of gingerbread
find the
cookies that are. There's one that's coated in dark chocolate and one that just has like a slight sugar coating. Man, those things are good because they're not overly sweet.
Oh, do we want to finish this with I made cookies? Would you like a cookie?
Oh, sure.
They're peanut butter.
Yeah, I'm not allergic to peanut butter. Do you have the cap to that over there? Still?
I dropped the cap. That's what I was saying.
no cap?
I no cap. No cap. I dropped the cap. Here, have a cookie.
Oh, thank you. This is why we won all those primetime Emmys.
So I made. Oh, I just broke it. Made peanut butter and Reese's Pieces cookies.
It's pretty good. It's better than the cookies the girl who organized JennyCon gave us.
That's why I didn't eat those cookies.
They're hard as a rock.
These are starting
I took one to be polite.
I just baked these this morning.
These are softer than her cookies.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right.
JennyCon, great event.
Great event, JennyCon. You want to take us home? Let's take a big bite. And
Yeah.
then we'll go take it home.
Yeah, there we go. You've been listening to the Comic Shop Does a Podcast with me, Anthony Lee, Figgy Boarding.
And me, Evan Corp. I'm a fruitcake. Have a good night, everybody.